Welcome to Work in the Future, the podcast that keeps you ahead of the curve when it comes to the ways that the world of work is being transformed. I'm your host, economist and keynote speaker, Linda Nazareth. Each episode, we dive into the trends shaping tomorrow's workplace so that you can navigate it and lead it with confidence.
Well, what will AI mean for the future of hiring? To talk about that, I'm joined by Tamara Elsahyouni. She's founder of Talent Engagement Consulting. Tamara, thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you for having me, Linda. I'm very excited to chat about this very hot topic today.
Very hot topic, so much to cover. I'm interested to know how you became, so well versed in this subject. Tell us about your own career and the kind of work you're doing now.
Thank you. I've had about over 20 years career in human resources and recruitment, and I've always had the chance to work in startup or growing environments. So I've been a builder since the start, and when you're building and you're in fast-paced environment, my mind is always looking for efficiencies and looking for leveraging the right tools. There's a fun part in building because sometimes you use whatever you have on hand, but then you're always looking to stabilize that is your objective, to grow to a place where you stabilize the operation. So you're building for scaling, and definitely technology has always been a very intriguing tool for me. So after 20 years working in different countries, different industries, I decided a couple of years ago to set up my own shop. I thought this way I can help more organizations, I can have more exposure, and I can do what I like best: strategy and the recruitment, matching people with the right fit opportunities, helping managers find the right fit. So I founded Talent Engagement Consulting. We have a small team, but we're ambitious as well to grow. And we support small to mid-sized organizations with building their recruitment capacity internally or helping them source externally, as well as myself with my background. I do provide strategic HR insights and recruitment insights.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And I guess a lot of people are asking about AI. Let's start with the state of the art. How is it being used right now? How many companies and what kinds of things are they making it work, using it to make it work for them?
Yeah, surprisingly, I mean, I can't pretend to have the stats, the
Mhm.
exact stats, because when you're saying how many companies are we looking at, North America, Canada, right?
You're right.
The,
Yeah.
the world. But from anecdotes and conversations and reading and articles, AI is there. A lot of companies are still hesitant to use it. And AI is a huge band of usage and small. So it starts with ChatGPT, which is free access to everyone asking any questions or leveraging help, sometimes the automation or administrative help or some insights and some advice in certain areas, all the way to sophisticated programs that are supposedly built to help you with making judgments and making decisions. I have seen bigger organizations being in some sorts more hesitant to go into AI, so they are staggering the approach and using some of it for scaling purposes. If we're talking about the hiring for chatbots or whatever ATS they have, then they built some of the AI in it. But definitely the concerns with security and privacy are high. Also, rolling out an AI in those big companies is much more complicated.
Yeah, there's lots of
But
parts to it. And I
yeah,
want to talk about all of them. Okay, let's take a typical large company that's going to get a ton of response every time they put out a job ad in LinkedIn or in the papers or however they do it these days. Are they using it typically now to go through that huge, it can be thousands of applicants? And what's that process like?
yeah, good question. Definitely, I mean, keep in mind, those big companies are already using applicant tracking systems.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? They're not receiving mainly applications. When we're talking about big companies with big brand names, so their employer brand is really big, they always receive high volume of applications. They're already using applicant tracking system, which is mainly filtering by keywords or filtering by number of experience and some of those criteria that we are used to. So they already have this filtering in place. Some of them with their ATS introducing some of the AI as an analysis of the resumes. That is a big help for some of those companies, because when you don't even have to look at the 1,000 resumes, you'll have AI go through them, and the AI will shortlist for you. Maybe you'll ask for it 40, 50, 20, whatever it is, to give yourself a chance. The other piece of it is the scheduling part. Scheduling part is a very easy AI delegation because the risk is very low, right? So when you're implementing AI, you're looking at what is the risk of privacy, security, but also inequity and lack of availability of, or lack of access of good candidates, missing on good candidates. So scheduling is a very easy task to delegate to AI. Many companies are using nowadays. The other piece, which is a lot of them are more reluctant, and I'm seeing it as well with the vendors, is the interview analysis piece.
Oh, that's something I really wanted to ask about, because I think people hear that and they get, I don't know, angry or unhappy or really suspicious of this, because you
Yeah.
want to talk to a human being, right? You say nobody, it's bad enough talking to sometimes somebody in HR as opposed to somebody who's really familiar with your qualifications in the job. But if it's going to go to AI, I think maybe you even lose people.
That's 100% right. And I can tell you my experience using AI in interviewing a few times. I'll have about 15% of the people invited for an interview, knowing that AI is used, refusing to take the interview.
Really? Okay, that's interesting.
Bluntly saying, I don't feel this is fair and it's not equitable. I don't feel comfortable with it. Because today, you have two sides of it, of AI. So what you can do is you can either have an in-person or a virtual interview, and then you have your AI taking the notes and analyzing the insights and comparing to other candidates, which is the low risk part, the easy part. And most people will not disagree on recording the interview. Some of them might feel uncomfortable, but recording for the sake of AI, they will not disagree. However, because they have had their FaceTime with you. But for people who are just communicating and just interacting with AI, that could be a big concern. We also are noticing the generational differences. Mostly the older generations are not as comfortable with the FaceTime interview without the human touch versus the younger generation, who some of them as well, sometimes they don't even care about the FaceTime. It's the texting, it's the chatting, but also their options are more available. So you have to see from the point of view of the job seeker, how much they are keen on this, or is that their only option or not. So all of these fears play in the interaction. But definitely the interview piece is still the most hesitant piece in this process.
What's your opinion on it? Do you think if it's used well, it's an effective way for a company to call people or assess them, or is it a mistake to use AI for interviews?
I think it depends on the position. I used it. I like that it opens up a bigger pool of candidates. Because if you're an individual and looking to shortlist people for an interview, there's only so much time you can do and so many people you can see. You'll end up maybe shortlisting 7 to 10. It's half an hour each. This is, it's like a full day of interviewing. While if I'm using AI, the AI is doing the pre-screening for me. I can even shortlist 50 or 100 people, right? They're doing the work. AI is analyzing, bringing it back to me. The risk in here is that it also depends on the position. Positions with with the need of high judgment skills sometimes, or human interactions, are hard to be analyzed by AI. it's more technical positions are easier, right? Or
Yeah,
when
I
you're
can see
thinking
that.
about those volume roles like customer service, it's easier to test customer service skills and analyze them when or I don't know if they only even have teller positions yet, but maybe some volume positions are easier to screen through the AI, while more sophisticated positions are much harder, really. And I don't think we should rely exclusively on AI.
Tamara, stay with me. I want to come back and talk about a lot of the points you brought up on this. We will be right back.
If you're enjoying this conversation and want to bring insights like these to your next event, visit lindanazareth.com to book Linda Nazareth as your keynote speaker. Linda is an economist and futurist, and she is a dynamic and experienced speaker who has presented to audiences across a broad range of industries on the megatrends shaping the economy and the future of work. That's lindanazareth.com, or send an email to speaking@lindanazareth.com.
Hey, we're back with Tamara Elsahyouni. We're talking about how AI is changing hiring. Tamara, this is really such an explosive topic, so many parts of this. Just on the practical side of this, for a company who wants to start using this for the efficiency, how expensive is this? Like, what do they need to think about?
It also depends on the size and the level of sophistication you're looking to use. A lot of them are pretty accessible.
Yeah.
Pretty accessible. And honestly, especially when you use it at the beginning of the funnel, the efficiency you're getting out of it, the time you're saving out of your recruiters, and sometimes you're saving headcount, it's totally worth the investment.
Okay. But what you mentioned the privacy and security part of this. Now that's clearly a huge piece of this. Are organizations having to like hire more people for that part of it, or spend a lot of time making sure that this is okay? Because it seems like it may not be.
Yeah. You got it. It's the time piece. And especially it's the concern. It's still an untapped, and it's an unknown. Most of it is an unknown domain. How secure it is, how private it is. So you'll have your IT departments and IT leaders really apprehensive about it and wanting to test it and check it over and over and over again before launching it. And sometimes they might feel they might seem to the organization, to the other teams, as a roadblock or like a hurdle, but their concerns are real, because as employers, if you're looking from an employer perspective, you have a responsibility to maintain the privacy of the information of applicants, right, and employees. And what we've heard, when it's out there, it's out there. How can you control it? And this is why you see governments are now more keen on implementing. They have to step in to regulate the use of AI, to put more stricter, if you want, rules around how to use it, where to store it, how to access it, and the companies that are providing it as well, the kind of technology they're using and how they're using it. There's definitely concerns there. And when you're a bigger organization, it's a bigger concern because you have a bigger corporate social responsibility. There are higher expectations out of you. Also, you're receiving a much higher volume of candidates. Now, also, it depends the kind of information, right? If people are advised no longer to add their addresses to their resumes, maybe they will add the city, but not the addresses anymore. It could be there are systems that mask people's emails. So when you're communicating, it is masked. The system cannot pull it out, so it's encrypted. There's lots of good work being done on this end, but definitely there's still concerns.
Well, there's lots of concerns, I think, from the job seekers part of this. I mean, some people are going to be more advantaged by this than others, right? Who tends to get left behind if you go with this kind of hiring? Is there one group of people that is probably not an AI favorite, or is there lots of groups?
Yeah, 100%. There's an article that I was reading that pulled some studies and showed how there has been, I believe in North America, 270% increase in job applications because of the use of AI by applicants. This is massive.
Yes,
right?
it is.
It's massive. So if you think of how the recruiters already dealing with that volume and 170% increase, while organizations are cutting more and more on recruitment headcount because of technology, this is great for many job seekers. But as to your point, it does disadvantage so many others of them. Again, when we think of skilled trade, when we think of jobs like farming or people who, or plumbing or whatever. And not to say that those individuals are not using AI, but it's not embedded in their everyday. And mostly they might not use it. Also, when you're thinking of people that are neurodivergent or people with, different abilities, variety of abilities, AI is not fully today trained to accommodate and adapt to those individuals, but also we don't know if they have access to it or how to use it. It could be scary. Additionally, the generational differences again. I mean, you were at the event we were at together, and then someone from the crowd rose up, and he was very adamant that it's kind of a hoax, and AI is not true, and it's so this is someone who will not use AI to apply for a job or to even to screen candidates, and it's definitely a disadvantage to them.
I've been talking a lot about soft skills, looking at what organizations need, and it's becoming more and more important, right? Resilience, creativity, the things that are going to take us through the disruptions ahead. Is AI going to help us find those people that have those skills, or is it going to screen them out because they don't have technical skills that are maybe right on top, or they have them, but somebody else is coming to the top of the pile? Or is AI even going to look for these skills?
I think there are some ways to train AI to screen for soft skills. It's interesting. So if you think of a recruiter, when you're a recruiter and how you wanna probe or assess for, let's say, adaptability or creativity, there are different tools to use. It could be behavioral questions, it could be situational questions, it would be probing, which I've seen AI is capable of doing and analyzing because it's not hard to analyze and find creativity. I think what AI is missing and will forever be missing is the connection piece that hiring managers and mainly candidates need to decide whether can I work with this person on a daily basis or not. Just actually last week, I'm helping a client with finding an operations director. And I've sent them 3 solid, like viable leads. The VP sends me back using Perplexity, which is another kind of like ChatGPT, the analysis of the three resumes, and it's just like fun, right? And then he's showing me what Perplexity is saying about them. So my favorite candidate, which I always have, like this is, I think, the best fit, showed very low on cultural fit and low on connectivity. And I'm like, I was laughing, like, how did AI analyze the cultural fit? They didn't meet with the candidate based on a resume, and Perplexity is not that knowledgeable about the company's culture. So interestingly, after we finished the screening, that candidate that was rated the lowest by Perplexity is the candidate they want to work with.
Interesting.
Because they identified with that person the ability to communicate with the crowd and the clients that they have. They mainly, they know the culture of that area. They know how people talk. They're able more to interact, and they have good problem solving abilities. They have identified good sense of judgment. And, even though the other candidates, they like them and on paper they look great. And it kept me thinking, and this is my belief always in recruitment, which for the sake of objectivity, we try to ignore or try to say, no, we shouldn't look at it. You need to find someone who you're able to connect with, who's able to understand your communication, and you're able to receive as well and understand their communication. Because this is what fit is. The fit is I'm understanding what you're saying and you're understanding what you're saying, and we're both aligned on the direction we want to go. The hardest piece for any manager is when they have a team member who's unable to understand them and understand and take them where they want to go. So I don't think this piece will ever be replaced by AI.
I think that's a good point maybe to leave it at, Tamara, the idea that we won't be fully dependent on this, but maybe we'll use it as a tool.
It's a great tool, in my opinion. It's a must use. I don't know in the coming 5 years how any company can go without it. It does make my work so much easier, most people's work so much easier, and gets us thinking. I think that's a huge learning from AI as well for us as individuals. But use it based on your needs. Use the tools and the parts that are effective for you, that's helping you with making the right judgment.
No going back.
Exactly. No going back.
Tamara, thank you so much for talking to me today.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me, Linda.
Tamara Elsahyouni is the founder of Talent Engagement Consulting.
Thanks for listening to Work in the Future. If today's episode sparked ideas for your organization, reach out. I would love to help you shape the future of work at your next event. To discuss your event and book me as a speaker or moderator, please visit lindanazareth.com or email speaking@lindanazareth.com. You can also visit me on Instagram at Linda Nazareth Keynote Speaker and send me a direct message there. If you did like this discussion about the future of work, please remember to subscribe to the podcast. Also, your reviews really help people to find us, so please make sure you take time to leave one wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks so much for listening. And as always, thank you to Stokely Audio for audio production.